Hello, everybody. My name is Heidi Biggs, and I have just the most incredible honor of introducing our guest speaker tonight, Chelsea Rose Cotton, and sister from another mister. And her talk tonight is going to be called Trusting Your Body's Knowing. And just real quick, before I introduce her bio and share a little bit more about her, I just want to thank Chelsea personally from how she really helped me several years ago. Where she is right now is the cabin at Lake of the Woods in Oregon. And I know that place well. It has a dear place in my heart. And that one particular meeting that we had there, or time I was visiting, Chelsea really helped me come out of my masculine, really into my feminine. And it's a moment, Chelsea, I will never forget. And so I thank you so much for that, first of all.
Mhm.
And our lives have been intertwined through Nikki and Chris, and I just love you and Brittany so, so much. So just wanted to share that, first of all. Okay, Chelsea. Chelsea Rose is a soul guide. She is a leadership alchemist and sacred steward working at the intersection of embodied leadership, ancestral wisdom, and systemic change. Initiated into a shamanic lineage at the age of 13, she spent 17 years apprenticing with wisdom keepers and elders across Peru, Ecuador, and Mexico. Rooted in earth-based ritual and a worldview shaped by sacred interconnection, her formation was shaped through ceremony, energy healing, and direct apprenticeship with the unseen. Just let that sink in for a minute, guys. This cultivated a way of leading that for Chelsea is intuitive, embodied, and deeply ecological. Alongside her initiatory path, Chelsea spent over a decade in nonprofit leadership development. There, she designed transformational programs, mentored emerging leaders, and built trauma-informed containers for women navigating recovery, advocacy, and systemic inequity. Her work bridges executive coaching, emotional intelligence, and nervous system regulation with shadow work, grief tending, soul retrieval, ancestral repair, and ritual practice. And what is so cool that I would like to add is that Chelsea is also the co-founder of Remembering the Garden, which is a living field of awakening devoted to remembering our divinity and restoring ancient ways of sovereignty, devotion, and wholeness. So with that, Chelsea Rose, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for that, Heidi. I don't think I've ever heard it like out loud back to me. So thank you for reading that. And everyone here, I just want to say thank you. I'm really so grateful and so honored to be here tonight and to just get to be in a practice of listening and learning to trust our bodies. For most of us, we've lived in a world that has really given the mind all the power. And although the mind is an amazing asset, and we definitely want to use the mind, we often really override this whole body that has so much wisdom for us, so much information, so much also wisdom that's beyond even like our logic. So tonight, we're going to just do a couple practices to kind of re-remember and come back into our bodies as a part of also remembering all the access we have as leaders, that this isn't actually separate from our lives, and that we can start to use these practices to come back into more, I want to actually say communion with our body and not to override these other ways of knowing. Um, so to start, I would love to just ask, and if you want to do either your own hand or I guess the Zoom hand, but who here has had an intuition or a gut feeling or just a sense of something, even if it didn't make sense to you at the time, but you followed it and it totally changed your life or someone else's? Yeah, still
Yeah,
seeing some
absolutely.
hands raised. Yeah, Yeah. Who here has had an intuition, a gut sense, something that you felt and you totally overrode it and you didn't follow it, and it also created major impact in your life? Yeah. Who hasn't, right? How many, even from small things to grab your water bottle before you leave and you decide you don't want to walk back in the house so you don't, and then you don't have water for the day, to those really big ones. So tonight is like just again this place to kind of start to remember, practice, drop back into our bodies and service to your Juice Plus business, in service to your life, in service to just what you're holding right now. And especially in this world, there's so much that's occurring. And so our ability to actually really be with that knowing and follow and trust it, at least in my opinion, is really essential. It's actually a vital skill and tool in this time on the planet. So, to start, I'm going to invite us to what I call actually a resonance. It's like a meditation, a visualization, but a resonance that allows us to actually start to resonate with ourselves and with each other, which allows us to come into harmony with one another in a different way. So, if you're willing, I invite you to get comfortable in your seat and close your
Chelsea,
eyes.
before you start, I'm hearing a buzzing. Is anybody else or is that just me? No, everybody's, I just want to get a good recording. So it's something.
It's very faint, but I don't think it will show on the recording.
Okay, great. I just wanted to, that's great. All right. I'm back at you.
Okay. I'm actually wondering if I can turn this off, but I can't. Okay. Um, so if you want to get comfortable in your seat and start to close your eyes, make any adjustments that you might need, and start to come into presence with your own breath. Letting this breath be a reminder that it's okay to start to slow down. We live in a world that often asks us to go, go, go. So as you breathe, see if you can let your body start to soften here. Maybe breathing into the places that carry tension or grip. Letting the parts of you that are still in other tasks from before or in the task that will come after this call. Just letting yourself catch up with yourself here. And giving yourself the gift of your own presence. Because in this moment, there's nowhere else you need to be and nothing else you need to do. And just letting yourself breathe that in. And from this place, even if it's just a subtle having slowed down, I want you to imagine, sense, or feel a blue pearl that sits at the top of your head. And just notice how this feels in your body. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just notice how this blue pearl feels at the top of your head as you continue to take some easy breaths. And imagine this blue pearl starts to move slowly down through the top of your crown, the top of your head. Slowly moves down into your skull, almost as though it's moving through molasses or honey. And this blue pearl continues to move down, down until it hits the nape of your neck and your spine. And continuing down your spine until it sits at the back of your heart. And just notice how this feels for you. Your heart in front, and this blue pearl sitting at the back of it. Just notice, without having to know anything, how that feels. What's this relationship between the blue pearl and your heart? Trusting what comes for you. Taking one more deep breath in. And letting it go. And this blue pearl is a representation of your mind. And so now knowing that, feel what that feels like. Your heart as leader, as king or queen, and your mind as its trusted advisor. Take one more deep breath in and let it go. And we're going to do this one more time. I want you to imagine that blue pearl once again at the top of your head. And this time I want you to fill it with all those things that you think about. The important things, the not important things. Just let that blue pearl get filled with all those thoughts. And then once again, imagine this blue pearl moves down through your head, your skull, slowly dripping down. Until it sits at the back of your heart. Take one more deep breath in and let it go. Just notice how this feels in your body. Any and all is welcome here. Just noticing, you're just taking stock. Take one more breath, just giving gratitude to yourself and this practice, whatever may have arisen for you. And then slowly letting your eyes open, emerging from this experience. And I would love to hear if anyone's willing from just one or two people, and you can also put it in the chat, but I'd love to hear how that felt. What did you notice in your body, if anything? But how did that feel? And even this idea too of mind as trusted advisor to your heart as king, queen, leader.
I can go, Chelsea. So there were three things that I put into the blue pearl the second time that it went through the honey. And what was interesting, what I chose was two goals and gratitude. It was really, I don't know why those three things came to mind, but it made the first time round, I wouldn't say I really felt anything, but the second time round, I definitely felt like a warmth in that area.
Mm-hmm. And I have a question. How does it feel to you, if anything? Like, how did putting your goals actually, letting your heart lead those goals rather than just your mind? Did you notice anything?
I would say calm.
Calm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Nikki,
Yeah,
Mom,
I
I
felt
hear you.
resistance when you said that this blue pearl was your mind or brain. I can't remember quite what you mind. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I liked it. I liked the idea of it floating down. I liked the idea of being by my heart. And then it went back up again. And then it was like, put your thoughts in. And then it got so jam-packed. Like there was no empty space anywhere. And then that got dropped behind my heart. I did not like it. I wanted there to be a separation between the blue pearl that felt super intense to my heart, and I didn't want it that close.
Hmm. Yeah, that thank you for sharing that. That feels actually really powerful. And one thing I would offer inside of that anyone else, again with hands, feel a resistance or this doesn't feel good or this feels like not what I would want. Not a
I think at first it felt a little bit resistant, and I think that was because when I do these type of things, my mind is still just chaos. So when you said to put all the stuff in the pearl, um, that actually made me calmer. Like the whole idea that I was like, okay, it's all contained in this little pearl,
Mhm.
and I didn't really feel anything when you mentioned it was behind my heart. I kept like, am I supposed to be like leaning back on it like Princess on the Pea? But, no, I didn't feel all that. But I did feel a little chaotic in the first and more calm in the second, for sure.
I felt sorry for the pearl. Too much stuff in there.
Hmm. Yeah, and in this place, whatever your experience was for any of us, this is also one thing I want to name about any of these pieces, at least what I hold. This does not have to be true for you, but this is an offering of one way of thinking or being. Is oh, and I've lost my thought now. Is just this place noticing what arose for you and how you might be living your life like that. Like Nikki, one question I might have is where are you separating your heart and all the things you love with the things that you're actually holding? And because you don't want them to touch because this feels so chaotic. And what if this, the heart, actually got to feed this and change some of that? Just as an offering. So for any of us, I'd invite you, and again, we don't have enough time to like go into everybody, but it's like where do you not maybe let your heart support you in all that you're holding and all that you're being with? Um, and I love this piece that you brought, Beth, around actually putting it in something helped contain it, which made me a lot calmer. I love that. So this can be a powerful practice. Um, And again, I like to do this sometimes when my mind is actually like a hamster wheel and I'm about to lead something. It's like I need to actually calm it and bring it back into its rightful seat. And that's a part of what this practice gets to be about. Okay, so I'm going to move to this next practice for us. And what I'd love for you to do, if you want, you can close your eyes one more time. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Notice how your body feels and notice just like what's arising even inside of this conversation tonight. Maybe this feels like so at home for you and you love this kind of stuff. Maybe you hate it. Just notice because none of it's wrong here. We just get to hold it and be with it. And with your next inhale, I invite you to bring up a situation that's like at a level 3 or 4 in your life, not the most intense thing that you're working with right now, but something that might feel a bit like you've been avoiding or don't want to look at it, or something in your Juice Plus business that you've not been willing to do. And let yourself just invoke that situation in your body. And as you feel that situation, I want you to start to just feel your own body and notice what are the sensations in your body as you think about this situation that rise up. It might be contraction, heaviness, an ache. Just notice. And bringing your attention to that part of your body and the sensation that is occurring. And take a moment and really feel into what are those sensations. Is it dull? Is it aching? Is it stabbing? Start to just kind of get to know this sensation and where it lives in your body. And then as you feel and let yourself feel this sensation, I want you to ask it itself, like, why are you here? Or why did you come? And I really invite you, as you can, to not just think of this from your mind, like the logical, well, it came because I'm stressed. I want you to actually ask the sensation itself and let it answer you. Why did you come? And trust whatever comes to you, however it comes. You may hear it, you may just sense it, you may see it. So why did you come? And as you receive that information, then take a moment and asking the sensation itself, what does it need from you? What does it need? And once again, just trust what comes, even if it doesn't make sense. And if you can, I invite you to give it what it needs in this moment. So it might need a deeper breath. It might need to be held. It might need to be listened to. Just trust whatever comes for you. And if you can, even just a little bit, give it what it needs. Taking another deep breath in and letting it go. Giving gratitude, even if it's really uncomfortable, even if the sensation is uncomfortable, seeing if you can give it gratitude in a way that feels right and true and real to you. For all the sensations we have carry wisdom, even the ones we don't like so much. So taking one more deep breath in and letting it go. Slowly letting yourself once again emerge from this experience. Opening your eyes. And once again, if anyone wants to share, I'd love to hear, like, what did you notice? And if it feels too personal to share what the actual thing was, like, were you surprised by what it needed? Anything that you may want to share.
I'll share. Um, I felt when you were talking about like what something, I don't even remember what the question was, but about the Juice Plus business was kind of what I heard. That was one option, I guess. And I started getting like anxiety, like I felt tense and stressed out, like I'm not doing enough, I'm not enough, or all that kind of thought process. And then when you asked what it needed, I heard trust, like trust the process is what I got from that. And I think a lot of that is stemming from, I've been doing a lot of like over the years, just connection with God, learning how to like surrender. And I always did this whole thing like, okay, God, I got this part, you take care of this part. Like, like we're a team. Well, that's not really the situation. I need to do all or nothing. And so that was just a good reminder. I think that's basically what I was feeling. Like I was holding on to things that I thought I can control, but I need to like really surrender the outcomes.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you so much, Beth. Yeah, I often ask when that comes up for me, one of the things is like, what would trust do here? What would trust do? So I love that. And just as a reminder, so often, not always, I want to acknowledge that sometimes the anxiety, the hard feelings, that don't feel good, they don't just need trust. They're here for other reasons. And so I want to acknowledge that. And so often, those things that arise, they do just need a little bit more love or a little bit more trust or a little bit more space. They're not here to actually hurt us or keep us in that yucky feeling. They're here to show us where we might actually be out of alignment with our own values and what's calling us back into that, like, in right relationship with how we want to live with life. And for all of this, that might look different, but getting to like come into that and really starting to listen and receive the wisdom that our bodies have for us. Is there anyone else? Yeah, Heidi, you want to share?
Yeah, so I felt resistance this time, like my body, not my brain, really not wanting to go to that place. But when I relaxed into it, what came up for me was events and follow up and knowing that I need to do more of those things. And what was really interesting was I felt tension in the front, like by my third eye. And before you even said, I forget what words you used to like hold it or whatever, I had already started to start massaging that area. And at the same time, what I was feeling was my heart basically saying, have fun because you love events, you love helping people, and that's your place. That's where you need to be. So just embrace it.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for again naming your resistance because we have that's so often a part, especially our brain loves the familiar. So anytime we start to practice these other ways of knowing and being, there will be probably resistance because the brain likes the familiar. And it's just another muscle to get to start to practice. And even being with when resistance is really because there's a no, and when there's resistance because, ooh, this is something new and I don't really like, my body doesn't totally want to do it, but I'm going to actually like breathe into it and allow myself to like go a little bit deeper, to face the thing a little bit more.
And it's interesting that I felt it here in my head because I just don't get headaches at all. So it was really interesting that I really felt that like tightness, like, God, this is gonna loosen up.
Mhm.
It's weird.
Which is also a cue for you. That might be like how resistance feels, and so even or a block or something else. So even starting, this is a place too in this kind of practice is starting to learn how your body is telling you things because we all feel it and sense it slightly differently. So the more we learn what are the different cues our body has, the quicker we can go into what it's trying to share with us and then actually utilize that wisdom. So I know we're kind of at time. I just want to see if there's anything else that wants to be shared either about these practices or why this might like why even trusting the body would be helpful in your business, in your life right now. Like why does this even matter? If it does to you.
Sorry, can you ask that question again?
Yeah, I was just kind of asking why would trusting your body's knowing be important in your life right now?
Well, for me, I'm a believer that your body's always telling you things. And you said something at the very beginning that we lean way too much on our brain. And that I know I do that. And that to me is more controlling. Like we're trying to control everything, to control the outcome and think we know better, think we know best. Um, but when I feel like I'm doing something and I can really feel it internally if I know it's not the right thing. So
Mhm.
it's like doing the next right thing oftentimes is something that may not be what feels, well, it feels better than doing what my brain says it wants to do, I guess is a better way to put that.
I love that. Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think and I've had multiple situations with intuition recently. Like I'm very intuitive, but I don't always listen. And I mean, I had one little small experience today, but I was like, I should have trusted my gut. That was how I responded to the email. So, yeah,
We do it all the time.
all the time.
So really starting to like even the subtle times, starting to learn how to listen and practice that builds that muscle even more.
I
And even
heard
those of us who are really intuitive, we still don't always hear the message or we choose to override it.
Chelsea and I kind of have an agreement that we will encourage each other when we have that little teeny knowing, and it's really small, like, I should maybe bring this with me. I could run into somebody today. And then you go, that's not going to happen. And then you run into the person. It's not a big deal. It didn't, nothing happened one way or the other, but you literally had the knowing and then just tossed it aside. And they're oftentimes very little, and they would have made something just a little bit better, a little bit more of something. Randy, I saw your hand was up.
Yes, I was going to answer the question and maybe in a different way. You ask, why is it important with our business, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm very big into preventive health and wellness, but not in a brain function, more in like your body knows what it needs. Your body tells you. The biggest um, scam, I guess, would be that people don't realize that your body, you give your body what it needs and it will heal itself. I mean, with Juice Plus, we're not giving them a magic pill. We're giving them what grandma and grandpa said, fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's not any, it's a very simple concept, yet everyone like gets uncomfortable and wants to analyze it. And what are the ingredients in fruits and vegetables? It's the fruits and vegetables. So I do think that listening to as a person, a leader, a business person, I feel like it makes me, when I go to listen to other people and what they're saying to me about their body or their issues, I will hopefully be able to relate, to be empathetic, to maybe have a different solution that they hadn't thought of, because if I had the same thing and I handled it a different way, that's what I was thinking about when you asked that question.
I love that because, yes, I mean, multiple things that you said are so beautiful, particularly for this business, but also this places of where when we start to know how to listen deeper to our bodies, we start to entrain and be able to listen to other people's bodies in both what they share with us, but also the things unsaid.
Yeah.
And that makes us better leaders, not because we always have to be right, but because we're listening at a different level. And then people feel more seen, more heard, more in relationship with. So the practice of listening and trusting our own bodies actually has a ripple effect of being able to do that with others. So I love that you said that, Randy. Yeah, thank you
Thank
for that.
you.
Yeah.
Randy, you also helped me think of something that I think is super important in our business, and that is the amount of times that we're out and about in public and our intuition tells us to go have that conversation or talk to someone, right? Maybe at the grocery store or wherever we may be. And then our brains talk us out of it. When if we shut down that brain, because it's really our heart that gives us that call to courage to have that conversation. You just blew my mind, Randy, and made me think of that and how powerful that is to think, no brain, blue pearl, you're being led by my heart today. Shut up, brain, for a second. I'm having this call to courage with my heart because this is going to really help impact this person. And brain, you're making me be selfish by not opening my mouth and having this conversation. So Randy, thank you for what you shared and helping me remember that.
Well, I just want to add one quick thing to what Heidi's saying, because she made me think of something else. There have been, especially when I travel, on airplanes and airports. It's actually my favorite place to talk to people. But there has been, if I were to talk about the return on investment of my talks in a monetary situation, it would be unsuccessful. But I thought, as we were discussing, I'm very proud that I care enough about other people to share this. And even though I might not benefit from it or even know the result, they can go ahead and share it. Somehow I trust the intuition in me tells me that this is the right thing to do because there is a ripple effect and I don't need to be a part of it.
Mm, that was great, not needing to be a part of it.
I love each of what you're speaking to. And yes, this is how we weave and why these practices matter. And that even what you just said, Randy, brings back to what Beth said around it's not my job to control what it is, but there's gifts in me speaking to someone, building relationship, building humanity, no matter what. And the gifts of that might not be a monetary one, but the more we're in tune and don't override ourselves and follow those things that might not make sense, the gifts are like, is boundless the right word? Yeah,
Mhm.
um, are boundless. So thank you for letting me be here today and for just bringing some of these simple practices and um, yeah, and weaving these many pieces of how you'll practice this in your own life.
I don't know if you want to wrap it up, Heidi. I want to just say one last thing, and maybe you do or don't after I do, but I just have to tell you that my heart feels very full. My favorite time in the world, not in the world, my one of my very favorite times, and it brings me great joy, is when people are willing to put all of their thoughts together, and it's like mixing this amazing, beautiful soup, and the result is so powerful. And I just want to thank each of you that were willing to share the pieces that you shared, that made the next person think of something or have an epiphany or want to offer more. And this is the magic for me of these kinds of calls, this interactive kind of calls where we really get to be with one another and learn with one another and lights go on. So I want to thank all of you for contributing in that way. And Heidi, is there anything you need to add or want to add?
There's just one thing I wanted to add for anyone that's watching that didn't join us live and you watch this and maybe you didn't participate. If you got to the end and you see this, go back and watch this again, but really participate. I, for one, cannot wait to watch this recording, actually do this exercise again. And I just maybe even see a retreat in our future with Chelsea doing this live in person or something even more powerful.
Well,
But thank Chelsea, I just want to thank you so much for pouring into us and leading us down this beautiful path of clarity with our intuition and our hearts and our minds. That you did such a great job, and thank you.
and if any of you are interested or know anybody that's interested, Chelsea does do retreats. She calls the one that she's mostly working on right now is she does more than this, but is the Beauty Way. It's living your life surrounded by beauty and what that in turn brings meaning to your life. And she has one coming up in September, May and September. If you want to know more and want to know her website, just let me know.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
all
much.
Good
so
night,
much.
everybody. Great call.
Night.
Thanks, Heidi. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Heidi.
Thank you,
Thanks. Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.